Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're all having a magical day. Thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. Streets of New Capenna is right around the corner. The pre-release events at your local game store starting on April 22nd. This is 5 days away, which is super exciting. And then 6 days later, on April 28th, we have the arena and online release, which is a super duper exciting. And then the full paper release, I believe, on the 29th. Again, if you're looking to get into a full collection here. In today's video, we're going to break down a limited guide talking about draft and sealed, the archetypes within Streets of New Capenna, ranking those archetypes, and going through the card synergies, the mechanics, and those card rankings as well within each of the archetypes for you. So this is all tracked in a spreadsheet, which is super exciting. You will be able to access it in the description below. If you want to make a copy of it, download it for yourself, and then you can edit it at will. Or you can just, kind of keep coming back, as we will, as a community, continue to update, that core version that you'll see on today's video that I've been working on. So buckle up, get ready. We're going to be crushing these pre-release events, and then, of course, transitioning into the sealed and draft experiences within Arena and online when it comes out a little bit later. So our draft version here, even though it is filled out very in depth, we're looking to improve the guide as we go and update it. So if you have any opinions on things we touch on today and the guide in general as you dive into the spreadsheet on your own time to map this all out, come back, leave a comment, let us know, and we can hopefully include some of what you have to say and improve the guide as a whole. So like the video and let's actually take a look at this spreadsheet. It's all about the streets, baby, the streets with the sheets. First off, let's just teach you guys how to interact with it for your own sake. File, and then you can go download or even make a copy for yourself. I believe both of these will work if you want to download it or make a copy, and then you can edit it for yourself without, requesting access to edit this version here, right? Because I'm not going to reply to a gazillion emails who are requesting access to edit it. You can view it, or you can make a copy for yourself, and then you can edit that version for yourself, right? Unless, you're Deathsy and you want to work on this with me. Or, some other really cool limited player, right? Not just Deathsy. And talking, again, at the end of this video about some additional resources that you can pay attention to, because if we can start to layer, these data points up, we're going to have an even deeper understanding than what we'll accomplish today. As, again, I am no limited expert, but I've been around the block long enough that I have a fairly good idea what's going to take place within the meta. And of course, this is my interpretation before we start to, take into account some of the community opinions that I've been asking for in the comments. So your pick priority, right? S+ for engines. I do think engines are the most important thing. S for bombs. R is removal. Any removal is good. Just following our bread acronym here as well. And then we have archetype synergy. This is not within the bread, but Briorad, EA. 2 cantrips and evasion, 3 aggro, battle tricks, mana fixing, and 4 dirt filler. So this is kind of like my own personal version of it, and not taking into account any rares or mythics in this guide. Those are not something that you can rely on. So we're just building around commons and uncommons for the archetypes. And if you get a bomb, a mythic, or a rare that actually complements some of the synergies that you'll find within these different archetypes, you are laughing, right? And again, we have these rated at the bottom for the overall ratings. We have pros and cons for each of them as well. Okay, so we have mechanics, key cards, supporting cards, good cards, mana fixing, and removal. Just kind of how I sort everything. Within the key cards, there's always multicolor commons and uncommons. In any set within limited, this is going to signify the core archetypes, and then we get to build around them in a really smooth fashion here, and they interconnect, right? So white and blue, and then we have black, white, and blue. Then blue and, or sorry, black and white, black and blue, sorry. There's no W there. And then we have red, blue, and black. Then red and black. Then we have green, black, and red. So you see how they flow into one another all the way through, so the colors mesh. And then we have two columns that are copies, just because the way I learn visually, I'm looking at, so say Obscuria, and there's a copy of Azorius here. I'm looking at Obscuria, picking from Azorius cards and picking from Dimir cards to make the Obscuria or Esper. So I like to have both columns available while I'm comparing data right beside each other. And this is why there's a copy of those columns on each end, because it makes a circle, if that makes sense, through and around back to itself, which is fantastic as far as laying all this out for you guys is concerned. So all of the cards are also linked, right? Just give that a quick click, and then you can read the card if you don't know what it is, right? So a really nice way for you to familiarize yourself with all of the cards. The cards in the copy column are not linked. I don't know why, and I'm not going to relink them. Just scroll over to its original column, and then you can click on those links there to get to the card. All right, so final thoughts on all of the different archetypes are here within the pros and cons. And then, again, my overall rating from what you're about to pick. With this all being said, you can digest the data. I know this question will come up, is can I play colors that aren't included within this spreadsheet here? And the answer is yes. It's just not built around it. For example, blue and black here. Could I use blue and red even though they're not represented within a color pair here? The answer is absolutely. You can. You don't have to have black in that for Maestros or Grixis. You can simply run blue and red if you want. That's just not covered in this video. Your picks a little bit different. I don't necessarily know if it's something that's meant to be run. I do think that you would be better off overall, because the mana fixing is so generous in the set, just to run the third color, right? Instead of going, I don't know if they're enemy or ally colors, which one's which, but just run, the third color instead of trying to run, off color mechanics, because it is, yes, for this example, is it blue and red, typically a Spellslinger deck, and that's exactly what Maestros is. So that's just my opinion. It is a possibility, and by all means, go for it. Let us know how it works out for you. And again, I love people's opinions on that, as well as, I'm not someone who makes a ton of limited guides. We've done it here and there, but I do think that we've actually knocked it out of the park here. So could be a little bit more in depth, including those off color pairs, but the mana fixing is so easy here. And where is it? This freaking Jewel Thief. This is probably the best card that you can pull. 3/3 for 3 with Vigilance and Trample. Wow. And when it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. So an absolute fantastic card here available for green, and not just green related decks, but all of the colors have really nice mana fixing. First and foremost, we should talk about, here it is, each color. And if you watch the spoilers video, we broke down this for you guys, each card individually getting a review and crafting guide as well. If you're looking for that, that's available on the channel. Anywho, each 3-color combination will have a card like this, which is a creature, which can exile for 2 to provide mana fixing on one of your lands, and then you can still cast the creature from exile, which is really good. So, you know, the mana fixing is just so good, and it's not like you're losing out for the mana fixing because, you know, this is a common card. It's going to be abundant throughout your picks, and it's a really, like, it's a decent creature. A 4/4 with flying when it enters the battlefield, gain 3 life. That's not too shabby, plus it fixes your mana, right? And this type of card is available within each of the 3 color combinations, which is absolutely deadly. So, again, can you run off-color spells or archetypes? Yes. I'm really looking forward to see what some of the other pros say about all of this, and if they talk about running those instead of what is directly provided clearly by the mechanics. Really, really interested in this. For example, the blue and black Dimir runs on the mechanic of 5 or more. For example, we'll look at the Drama Queen here. Flying, as long as there are 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard, the Syndicate Infiltrator gets +2/+2, right? So this mechanic isn't available in blue-red. So I do think that you would probably be at an inherent disadvantage ignoring the color combination archetypes that do exist organically within the multicolor cards. That's the only argument I can see. But again, really looking forward to see what the pros in the limited format say about all this. So again, there's some colorless stuff here too, just as filler. You're going to need those 40 cards to make your deck. Charms are all absolutely amazing. I do believe that the 3 color cards will be in decent demand because they are so good. But then at the same time, the dual color cards will be almost in a higher demand because it's both Maestros and Riveteers looking to get the red and black dual color cards in their deck as well, right? So not only is it the red-black players looking to get them, but now it's also the Maestro players, it's also the Riveteer players, all looking for these cards. So the Maestros, the Riveteers, in very high demand because they're so good, but then at the same time also, and potentially maybe even in higher demand, is the dual color multicolors, right? So keep that in mind when you're drafting. These are probably very high priority picks because how high of a demand there will be, at least until the bot or the quick draft comes out on Arena, right? And then there's some creatures, right? There's plenty of creatures to go around, but it really is the priority picks for the key cards here and the supporting cards. Removal is also super high pick, you know, bombs, removal, evasion, aggro, dirt, right? And then, you know, to go through the pros and cons, you guys can do this all by yourself. But I do think that we've done a decent job demonstrating and talking about exactly how the spreadsheet is laid out. The mechanics have the invasion, the different kinds of strategies that would be included within the deck, like evasion counters, draw, removal, draw, discard 5 or more, counters, evasion, removal. They all have removal, but it's good to note as some of these have different mechanics, right? Chip, sacrifice, you know, depending on which way you want to play, and talking more about these in our final thoughts here as well, right? And of course, our final review on the bottom, and I'm going to tell you what I personally think that we had an S+ here. Yes, we did. The Broker's Tap and Scrap is going to be literally the most competitive deck, having access to draw engines, to creature generation engines. You know, it's just really, really good. You have shield counters, which is fantastic. Overall thoughts here on the side. Shield counters always go on engines. 3-color decks are always better because they have access to more removal, unless mana fixing isn't available. In this case, 2-color decks will be more consistent, right? So just some general thoughts there as well for you all. I hope you enjoyed and find some value from this. Again, good luck in your pre-release events. I would love the feedback if you do perform well after having digested this information. And of course, you know, we have 5 days until those start. So we're going to be working on this as we continue and fine tuning and editing as well. Cheers. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate you. I cannot even count how many hours I put into this. Enjoy. We'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Become a YouTube member to support. And big woofs on our way out.